All right, today we are making these beautiful beef short ribs. You can see we got these from the steer that that was raised by Rocky Knob Farm and processed by A.W. Meat House. And we are going to sear these on all four sides in olive oil that I have in my electric skillet. I'll move that around. We're going to season them with our usual spog: salt, pepper, onion powder, and a little garlic powder. We're going to season them all over, and we're going to sear them. And you got to take your time. You want to sear these on every side. It'll probably take 30 minutes for these to get all seared, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, you can see I have them seasoned on this side. I'm going to keep turning and seasoning until I've done all 6 sides because they're cubes. So it's going to take a little bit, but just keep at it. It's worth it. Okay, into this skillet where I had some leftover bacon grease because it's only going to add flavor, I've added in a cup of rough chopped celery. I'm going to add in a cup and a half of frozen diced onion. And I'm going to add in a cup of sliced carrots. These are going to end up being strained out, but you want the flavor from this. So don't skip this step. Go ahead and add that in and let those vegetables start getting soft. And make sure you season these vegetables in this pan with salt, pepper, onion, and garlic powder. Look how beautiful those are. We've got one more side to go. And in the meantime, our vegetables are cooking down. We want to cook them till they're mostly soft. Then we're going to add in some beef broth and some red wine. If you want to skip the red wine, you can just add in more beef broth. But make sure that it's stock, that it's rich stock. Okay, our veg are almost finished. I'm going to pour in some red wine, probably close to a cup, and do what we call deglaze the pan. I'm going to scrape the little bits out of the bottom and let that reduce for a couple minutes. Now I have a third pan, which is a Dutch oven that I have on my burner, and in it I have 64 ounces of beef stock that I'm bringing to a boil just because I want it to cook faster. I'm also going to add in 2 more cups of red wine, some pepper, onion powder, a little minced garlic, and some thyme, about 2 teaspoons of thyme, dried thyme, and get that all hot and ready. And then I'm going to dump the veg in that we have reducing there, put that on the bottom, and then I'm going to nest our short ribs on the top. I'll then put this lid on and make a tight seal, and I'll show you that in a minute. Okay, we've got everything in the Dutch oven except our short ribs, our vegetables, everything. You see it's boiling. I wanted everything hot when it went in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off, and I'm going to put our short ribs in here and make sure that it's well coated with all the jus that we have in the pan. All right, there are our short ribs all nestled in our pan. We're going to put the lid on that so it makes a good seal. And we're going to put these in a 350-degree oven for about 2 hours. Okay, after 2 hours, these are totally tender. I've removed them to the lid of my pan. I now have this beautiful stock. There is a layer of fat on top. I'm going to skim that off, and then I'm going to strain this broth. And the reason is, once I strain it, those vegetables are just cooked to mush. They were just for flavoring. You don't have to do it, but I'm going to strain the broth and let it cook down a little bit more and reduce and make a jus, a really amazing jus or gravy. Okay, I skimmed the top off the fat, strained the broth, and I returned it to my electric skillet. I didn't want to dirty another pan, and I had just scooped the fat out of where it had been there before. So this is just broth. There might be a teensy bit of fat still on it, but I got most of it. This is just broth or that braising liquid, and I am going to let this reduce down until it starts to thicken on its own and gets really intense flavor. I'm going to let it reduce by at least half, and then I'll check the seasoning, see if it needs more salt, pepper, anything like that, and then we'll finish it off. And I'm going to serve this with mashed potatoes and some little tiny cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes that I blister in a pan and make a little balsamic glaze for, because the acidity is nice, because these ribs are fatty in and of themselves. So we're going to let this cook down, and I'll show you the final product when we're finished. And there you have it, a gorgeous plate of beef short ribs with the jus reduced, mashed potatoes with more jus, and blistered tomatoes. I just blistered in a pan with a little bit of beef drippings, salt, pepper, and put a little balsamic vinegar on them at the end. It's a nice bit of tartness to go with the fattiness of that meat. Look at that glistening, gorgeous meat. I hope you all try this, and I hope you enjoy.